Okay.
Congratulations, you're the new returning PCC. What's your initial reaction to the results?
I'm really pleased with the results from the elections. I think that's based on what I put out there. I was the only candidate who had a local manifesto, resonated with people, and it's about building on the successes that I achieved during the last 3 years as well. So I'm really pleased about that, and I'm really grateful to the public.
One bit of feedback we've had is that the lack of engagement with this election, that's been reflected in lower turnout, I'd say, and also the reduced vote per candidate as well. With several PCCs in now, what are you going to do in the future to boost the profile of PCCs, what work you do, and to re-engage with the population?
Yeah, well, I think I hear what people are saying there, and it's become really prominent during the election campaign. But what I would say is that I have been out canvassing the last quite a number of weeks really with the parliamentary candidates as well, because at some point we know that a general election is going to be called. Well, Rishi Sunak has bottled it, because I think a lot of us were expecting the general election to be at the same time as this election. That hasn't happened, but there's things that have taken place in my term: the introduction of surgeries, the fortnightly newsletter, our social media presence has increased, looking at other avenues as well regarding a business community and using a LinkedIn account as well. That's been created. But there's always room for improvement, and that's what I'll be wanting to do, build upon those things that I've already introduced. Maybe people didn't know those things were around, but now's an opportunity to really sort of shine a light on that and get people really engaged further.
In terms of that, I think the Wrexham turnout was around 14–15%,
Yeah.
which is, that's pretty dire though, isn't it?
It's low, but I think we were always going to sort of half expecting that, with it being a standalone election, with it being a change in the electoral system that's used to determine the outcome, with it being first past the post this time. But I think what I have done is I've campaigned strong. I've got a really good record of delivering for the people in North Wales, and that's why the people in North Wales have re-elected me.
And you go in Monday morning, back at the desk.
Tuesday, bank holiday this
Bank
Monday,
holiday, well, you might be working on Monday,
Yeah.
if you're that keen. What's your priority? What would be the first thing that you're going to kind of kick on with now?
I think the first thing I'll be going to be kicking on at is I'm going to be spending some quality time with my wife and my children, because they've had to put up with me, but they haven't really seen much of me these past couple of months. But I will be looking at implementing what was in my manifesto, bringing that forward and put it into the police and crime plan. That's to be presented to panel members, and then hopefully I'll be one of the. I'm hoping I'll be one of the first to have the police and crime plan approved by the police and crime panel. So it's a bit of a tongue twister, doesn't it, really? In Wales, and if not England and Wales as well. So I've got a plan. We've got a clear direction in which way we want to be going, and yeah, looking forward to the start again on Tuesday.
And in terms of challenges specifically to the east, Wrexham, Flintshire direction, what are the priorities there?
So the main key priority is in North Wales across the breadth is serious organised crime, and the intrinsic links there that links into child sexual exploitation, modern slavery, cybercrime, violence against women and girls, all comes underneath that umbrella of serious organised crime. That is where my focus will be on.
And you've touched on this election being detached, I suppose, from Senedd, Westminster parliamentary elections. Do you think that this should be realigned?
I think that's a really good question. I don't think that maybe that would be part of. There's been a PCC review. The first past the post system was part of that review. So there's a second part of the PCC review as well. So maybe it'll tie in with that. But you know, I think it would be more beneficial to increase that turnout, to have people engaged. I think that's what it's about, isn't it? I think, but you know, as we've talked about here, I'm looking to improve that immensely.
And across the UK, there's obviously elections taking place elsewhere, and there's a lot of analysis in terms of the results that are coming in, and still some yet to come in as we speak. How do you see this as a reflection looking forward to the general election, or can you not link the two?
Well, I think what it clearly says to me is that in North Wales and across England and Wales, that there's a strong message to the Conservative government that people wanting change. Please call that general election, because, to be quite brutal, people have had enough, and they just want to see that shift and change. Like I said, Rishi Sunak, he's bottled it. He could have had it at the same time as this. That would have saved the public a lot of money as well, but he hasn't chosen to do that. But I'm sure, you know, it's his decision to make, of course. But hopefully we can have a general election sooner rather than later.
And finally for me, some of the feedback we've had is that the people have said the PCC as a role shouldn't exist, should be abolished. Obviously you are the new PCC. Would you be looking to abolish yourself? Would you support that, or do you think it's a valuable position?
I think it's a valuable position because I am accountable to the public. I think, we've been talking about here, there's that theme of engagement and understanding and improving things like that. That's what I'm keen to do. Anybody who's feeling disengaged or got any suggestions or really wanting to know more, well, please come and see me and make an appointment. I think with what I've done, the newsletters, the surgeries, all those positive steps that I've taken to improve that engagement, it's really about building upon that, and I really would wish that people take that opportunity to come and see me. I'm listening to you, and I'm here to represent you.
In terms of the Conservative vote, it's probably held up better in North Wales than other areas. Do you think issues such as 20 mile an hour, I mean, the Conservative candidate mentioned that in his campaign literature. Do you think any of that's come into play at all?
I'm not sure, but as has been reported, that the Conservative candidate was wrong to do that because that's not within the remit of the Police and Crime Commissioner. The 20 mile an hour was brought up in June last year at the Police and Crime panel, where the Chief Constable addressed that, saying that the police would be using an evidence-based approach.